Did you know that you can buy your very own telescope and explore space on your own, like from your backyard or your balcony? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you guys what kind of images you can take with this telescope. I'm going to show you also how all of these things work, how a telescope works together with all the equipment. And of course, I'm going to show you guys the 2026 upgrade possibilities for such a telescope with the new cameras and new gear and equipment that has turned up during the time that I bought this from now. So first of all, this is my mid-grade telescope. It's not the strongest telescope I have, but looking at the focal length, like how far can it go. This one has 800 millimeters attached with an APS-C camera. So 800 millimeters refractor, it's basically a prime lens at 800 millimeters. So this cylinder thing, this red one, is the camera. This specific camera is the 2600MC Pro from ZWO. It's a cooled camera which reduces the noise levels and brings out the signal better. Close to attach to the camera is the filter holder, and that's a filter holder from SVBony. And right now I have a light pollution filter attached. This is the L Pro from Optolong. It reduces the light pollution levels, and I seriously need it from my light polluted area. I live in a borderline 9 area, which is a big city area. I live at the center of a very, very big city, Stockholm, Sweden. So definitely need that filter. And then there's a small space here. And here, this part here is called a flattener. So this telescope takes in the entire image, but it stretches out the stars in the corners. So like it warps the entire image. So just to compensate for that, you have to have a flattener. You can also add a reducer here instead of a flattener, like making this a faster telescope, but with the lower focal length. So you can make, or I can make this telescope work at 630 millimeters instead of 800 millimeters. And what I gain from that is that the light gathering capabilities increase. So it goes from an f7 telescope to a f5.6 telescope. But enough about that. So the image comes, it looks at the stars or your target, and it gathers out the light, filters the bad light out, and just registers in the camera and the sensor. So another very important part of astrophotography is, of course, the fact that the Earth rotates. The Earth rotates, making us that rotate with Earth appear like the sky appears to be moving. It's actually us that are moving, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it is what it is. So we have to have a mount that rotates and compensates for the Earth's rotation, making this telescope point towards a single point of the sky all the time. So this is the AM5 from ZWO again, and this is a very good harmonic mount. Basically, it just rotates and compensates for the Earth's movement. You're gonna need these one if you're gonna be serious about astrophotography. Astrophotography is about patience. It takes hours and hours to get an image. So you can't just simply put this one out, snap a photo and go home. No, you're gonna have to leave this one outside for like an entire evening or an entire night actually, and you're gonna have to do it for several nights. So you're gonna have to put a lot of effort into making this working with autopilot. So what you have to, one of the things that you need to think about is focus. During the night, the temperatures will change and the telescope will slew, so it's going to lose focus a lot of times. So what you have here is the autofocuser. You can program this one to reset the focus or set the focus of the telescope now and then, like maybe if the temperature changes a few degrees or every other hour, or if you have a filter wheel here instead of just one filter holder, you can have a wheel where you can rotate filters. You're gonna have to reset the focus again. So this is the ZWO EAF electronic autofocuser, and it's basically a must-have. if you're going to let your telescope run during the night, because otherwise you will fall asleep and the focus will it's gonna lose focus after like a few hours, 1 or 2 hours, and you're gonna have like 6 or 7 hours with bad data. So must have. Another thing that you will get during the night is dew. The temperature changes and you're going to have dew accumulated on your lenses. And to counteract that, you're going to have your dew heaters. So this and this are dew heaters. They're just slightly above dew level. I mean, I just warm these up a little bit during the night, and I keep them warm, keeping the front element of this small telescope and this big telescope, keeping them warm, and that reduces or just simply removes the dew entirely. Moving on to a very important part of the telescope, which is this part here. This is called a guide scope, and this is called a guide camera. Together they work as a smaller telescope, looking at exactly the same point that this bigger telescope does, but its sole purpose is to help the mount to guide perfectly. Without this section here, I would probably be able to take around 30 seconds exposures because this is not a perfect compensator for the Earth's rotation. It's going to be a little bit off at times. So at around 30 seconds, I will start getting elongated stars because it's not going to point at exactly the same place. But with this one, it's going to look at a few specific stars, and it's going to send small pulses to the mount, telling it you're moving too fast or you're moving too slow. You need to go a little bit up or down. And it just kind of nudges it a little bit in the right direction, making me or giving me the options to actually take maybe 10 minutes exposures based on how well I have polar aligned this one, or like pointed it towards the correct area of the sky. I usually take around 5-minute exposures from my inner city area because I have so strong filters. I'm gonna need to collect more data, but it wouldn't be possible without the guide scope and the guide camera. Moving along to the final part of this image, not showing in this video here, is this part here behind the mount. This is the control unit. You can see the antenna sticking out here. This is the ZWO ASIAir, and it is the control unit. It's like a small computer. It's actually a Raspberry Pi inside of that, and it transmits a Wi-Fi that you can connect your phone or your computer to, and you can control everything from your app or from your computer. It provides power to the entire rig, and it controls everything. So there you have it. This is how a telescope looks like, and it's a consumer grade telescope. So, well, it's a bit expensive, but it's totally affordable if you're really into this hobby, and it's totally worth it. I mean, I'm looking at something that I will probably use for my entire life. So even it's very expensive, if you use it all the years that you have left, it's probably not going to be that expensive. So looking at the 2026 options, because you can see that the cable work here is a bit tremendous. It's not good, and it's not just the gear's fault, it's my fault. I am a bit lazy, and I just like whip up the cables and just put them in place, and I don't care that much about cable work. I have seen other people do extremely nice cable work, but the 2026 gear is a lot about managing cables, in my opinion. So basically, if we start at the telescope, there's not that much you can do. There you have your lenses, you have your size of the telescope, and you have your coatings and the quality of your glass. That's basically, it's been the same for all the years. I mean, they do come up with new telescopes, but it's the same, if you ask me. So the new stuff is, of course, the mounts. We have the AM5 here. You have a new mount called the AM5N, which has more ports for power. So basically, I'm using these cables here to provide the power to the camera. You can have power coming out from here, renders it easier to connect your gear. You don't have that many cables that like hang out from your control unit, the ASIAir here. And speaking of the control unit, there is a new camera here which combines three things here. It combines the guide scope. It puts the guide scope sensor inside of the camera, so it's actually using the big telescope as a guide scope, so you don't have to have this part here. It also takes the entire control unit and places it here in somewhere here, I guess in the back, because you have an antenna sticking out of the back here, which makes basically all of these cables completely non-existent. You also have a new electronic autofocuser using USB-C, and I think you can also control it with Bluetooth or something. I'm not really sure about the new EF. I haven't really paid that much attention to it. It's I don't know why they upgraded it, honestly. If anybody knows, do let me know in the comment section. The big part is, of course, the camera that can have the guide scope and the ASIAir inside. Just a very important note about that: if you live in a very light polluted area like I do, you will probably not want to buy one of those cameras, because the light that hits the sensor of the guiding will pass through the light pollution filter, which is a very strong filter and reduces the amount of light a lot. And I mean, for this big scope, it doesn't matter because I take 5 minutes exposures, but for the small one, you're gonna have to have like 2 seconds exposure time. And that is a lot of times not enough light for the small sensor that it has to actually find the star. So you can be limited into what kind of targets you are looking at, or you need to photograph, because it's going to have bright stars in the field of view so it can guide properly. So for me, not using this guide scope is not an option. This one doesn't have any filters whatsoever. This is a monochrome camera, and it just takes in all the light and gives me everything I need to be able to guide properly wherever I point this telescope. Okay, finally, let's have a look at the images that I have taken with this telescope. Some of the images are taken from my balcony in the Border 9 area, and some of them are taken in a very dark area, a Border 2 area, which is like super dark. It's on a remote island, or on a remote place of an island in the middle of the ocean. And some of them are taken in the woods or the forests around Stockholm, which is a Border 4 area. But yeah, I'm just gonna show you guys some of the images, and with that, I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, do give it a like, of course. And if you have any feedback or thoughts about this rig or any other rig or anything that I talked about in this video, do give me a comment and let's discuss there. And if you want to see more of astrophotography content and gear and adventures out in the fields and on my balcony, don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you next time. All right, bye bye now.